Hi everyone, this is Jess, aka Sketchwriter Jess. I'm here to do the next moon reading. It's for the waxing moon coming up, and that's on the 5th. And so, a couple things to keep in mind. I use a magazine called Tao Horoscope to determine my own daily horoscopes. On Instagram at sketchwriterjess.com, I actually posted a post about my bullet journal, and I listed all the things that I do in there to help myself keep on track with astrology. So if you want to check that out, it's the newest post that I have right now as of this moment. But if you just see like a journal layout and it has the witch symbol at the top, the goddess symbol, the 3 moons, pentagram, and has Virgo and Libra mixed together because it's Virgo Libra season, since I use the lunar calendar. So if you just take a look at that, you can see more about what I'm doing. But anyways, I use a magazine called Tao Horoscope to help me figure out my daily horoscopes. Now, they do have daily horoscopes in there for every sign. And you could look up all the horoscopes for your sign. Like I would look up Aries and Cancer because I have the Aries and then I have Cancer rising. Aries moon, sun, and Cancer rising. So I would look those two up. However, they also have a daily aspect chart. And that has aspects that are important to your natal chart. You look up the aspects that they have listed. And if they're aspects that are in your natal chart, they're going to hit you harder than something that isn't. So you pay attention to the ones that do. Like I have, sun and moon conjunct, right? That's kind of like, they're kind of like right on top of each other. So that's one aspect. It's kind of like they kind of boost each other up. So anything with sun and moon together, if there's a conjunct, if anything, it can be anything, it can be conjunction or anything else. If those have an aspect together, then I need to keep track of that, see what could be ahead. So like today, like a couple things to keep in mind. I noticed a lot of Venus energy, Mercury energy, so I would say Gemini and Libra Taurus type energies. The moon is going to be entering Capricorn soon. It'll be like a little bit, I believe it's a little bit after. I have it listed in here. I can even show you my book here. Okay, the moon entered Scorpio yesterday. Enters Sagittarius on the 4th, and I'm taping this on the 3rd. And then it enters Capricorn. I saw it on here. There, on the 7th. So a lot of things to keep in mind would be there's a lot of work-centered things, even scholarly type of feeling, like you could be studying a lot of things. Now, my natal chart, there are certain things that are very prominent. Like I have a moon opposing Pluto. That is a tough aspect. So when those come up, I have to be aware of those because that's the kind of stuff that affects me every month. One thing that I noticed when I was doing this, I noticed that I was coming up with a lot of the same things, and I could see like all my patterns. So I mean, that's something to be aware of if you're choosing to do it this way. What I did was I downloaded the Horoscope magazine by electronically. I did it on my Nook, and it does like every 2 months. So I have October for next month. But you can see I have like my calendar here. I'm just going to hold this up. This is the most important for this, what I'm talking about now. It has symbol. I put all the symbols and everything. It's a lot, but I worked on it The other things you can see on Instagram, I just think they work better on there. But you know, it's helpful to have these things because you can see what's coming up. You can kind of, well, I don't know if plan is the right word, but you can kind of guide yourself and figure out like what the best days to do things are. Like, I'm finding there's some days it's better for me to relax, and other days it's better for me to work on something, like to work on a project. Like, I found all the days that I want to do my videos on, all my moon videos. And I'm not sure I'm going to do any love videos this month. I might. I might do a love video or two, but I haven't really planned for them yet. So, I would say just, you know, just stay tuned for the moon ones because they probably will have some love info in them. So that's what I'm feeling right now. Let me show you what decks I use. I use the Cosmic Tarot deck. I keep my deck in a bag, so that's why this box is like this. And then I use Notes from the Universe. And I really love that one. It's beautiful. The Cosmic is beautiful too. I mean, they go together, you know, they just go together for me. Since the moon is such a big deal in my chart, I think that's why I resonate so much with these two decks, because they're very universe centered, very celestial centered, and the moon is such a big part of the human life cycle, and I just resonate with it so much. So, yeah, I did the lunar calendar for my bullet journal instead of doing the regular Gregorian calendar that we have currently. And I just found, I was like, wow, you know, like I could see where my pitfalls are. I can see what's coming up, like the things that crop up every month. And so, you know, the goal of the tarot readings that I do for you is to help you figure out your patterns. One thing that I have done as somebody with a mental illness, I have bipolar 1, which has psychotic features. So like when I started having my psychic ability again, I say again because I had it in the past, but I kind of shut it down. I had to be careful. I had to see if I could differentiate between the psychotic stuff and the real psychic stuff. And I'm happy to tell you I'm doing real psychic stuff on here. Basically, like, I want to help you figure out your patterns so that you know what to look for. So, like, I can tell you things about your sign, perhaps, that might help you figure out what's coming up. The things that really are your pain points, the things that are going to be tough for you to deal with. And right now, I'm doing more like just the elements, like I'm doing fire signs, water signs, then I'm doing air signs, and then earth signs. And I can mention all the signs, however, I'm not really getting too specific. I'm trying to keep it as general as possible because I think everybody has a little bit of everything in them. The signs just help you figure out the things that are like your biggest challenges, I think, and your talents too. But as I say, like, a natal chart is really helpful for you. If you go to astro.com, you can get one for free. You just type in your info, and it comes out, you know, with everything. It's best to have your birthday and your exact time, also where you were born. If you have all those things together, it's the most accurate chart. So, also, as a witch, I say that may this reading resonate with you, and if it doesn't, may you find one that helps you get the answer you need. And I've put the crystal up, so blessings onto the reading. Hi everyone, I'm back. I'm here to do your reading for the waxing moon coming up on September 5th. And before I get started, I just want to say that these crystals that I'm using here, all here, they are crystals I got from my friend Jennifer at Swords and Cups Esoterics. She's on Etsy. If you type in swords for the shop names, just type that in and it'll come up. It's like one of the first ones. It's easier to do it that way. That's what I usually do. I love her name though, so hopefully she won't change it. Okay, I really love these crystals. I mean, she puts a lot of love into them, and I enjoy using them. Sometimes it is helpful to have the intentions, you know, like it helps with intentions. Citrine is good for setting goals and that kind of thing, figuring out tasks, creative tasks. So I thought I would use that for this reading. Now these citrine crystals I use for every reading. They're my creative crystals for what I do with writing up the reports on these. So I'm going to get started and we'll reveal the cards in real time. Okay, here's the first one. So what I do is I pull for the phases of the time that everything is happening. Like, you know, there's like a week of time for the moon to be orbiting and it's going to the next phase, but there's like little phases in between. So I like to pull 4 cards for each little phase, and that will make it more helpful to determine like what the big things you need to look out for possibly are. I'll combine them with my study of this month's astrology that I did from the Dell Horoscope magazine that I have. I digitally downloaded it onto my Nook, and so it helps out, you know, you just have it there. It's still easy to look at. Okay, so gotta cut the deck. Sometimes I forget to cut the deck, but I'm trying not to forget that. Okay, so time for the waterfall shuffling. Not too right away. Chatty little deck today, aren't you? Whoopsies. Oh, that's one of them, the 9 of Pentacles. Okay. So let's reveal the cards. It doesn't really matter which order I reveal them in because this is just the phases, and it can be any phase at any time. Any small phase. This is more like the transition here. We have the Wheel of Fortune. This one does not need to be clarified. This does, because it's a major arcana card. We have the 8 of Cups. That does not need to be clarified. And we have the 6 of Wands reversed, and that doesn't need to be clarified. So the only thing that needs to be clarified is the Wheel of Fortune. Oops. And when I channel the cards, sometimes what I do is I like to move them around and get a story that way. Okay, 3 of Pentacles reversed. Alright. Interesting. Oh. It's funny, I was watching another reading today. Somebody, I'm not going to mention her because I don't want her to feel pressure. I guess I can mention her because I really like her show, but I don't want her to feel pressure that she has to shout out to me. Her name is Missy at Saltwater Hills Tarot, and she just got the Cosmic Tarot deck. And I got to see her first reading. It's so funny that some of these are the same ones that came out in her reading. So, that's funny. Anyways, that's it for that part. And now we're gonna get into this guy here. It's the Notes from the Universe cards, and we'll just pull one. Unless it's extremely chatty and wants us to think of more than one thing, but I think it's better to just get one. And even though this is the way I shuffle them, I don't read them in reverse. There's no reason to read these in reverse. It's just that it's easier for me to shuffle this way. So, like in reverse. Okay. Okay. Oh, I don't think I've ever gotten that one. Yeehaw. I've always wanted to like get one that I haven't gotten before. So I'm happy about that. Okay. So what I'll do is I will reveal this one in the next part of the reading. And for the people who don't watch the intro, I will be talking about these crystals again, so that way everybody gets to see the shout out from my friend. And also I use them anyways. I actually like use them and put them around the cards. So I'll be back with the rest of the reading. Hi everyone, back for the actual reading portion. So welcome to everyone who has decided not to listen to the intro. There are a few things I want to cover. I use the Cosmic Tarot deck. I also use Notes from the Universe. And I have these lovely crystals here that I got from Swords and Cups Esoterics. Jennifer's on Etsy. Type in swords for shops and it'll be one of the first ones that comes up. So without further ado, I'm gonna get started. As you can see, there's not that many cards this week. I think that's good. I think that really gives us a focused message. I'll read this, make sure you guys can see it. When it comes to choosing who will be in your life, I recommend valuing their yeehaw quality above all others. Have it your way. Special orders don't upset us, the universe. So that kind of starts us off, and that's about letting in people who are at your level. If you got people that are really irritating and they're just kind of like hanging on to you and they're not pulling their weight, they're not doing things as I don't know, they're not working as hard as you are, I would say just kind of like step back. Don't really engage with that kind of stuff, because that'll just drag you down. It is something, I see with the Three of Pentacles, it's something you could be coming up against. Crystals, really, I don't know. Yeah, they want to stay here. Usually they go around, but they just want to stay in these areas here. Also, during this portion, I do a channeling portion where I move the cards around, so you might want to stick around for that. But if you want the quick version of the horoscope, here it is, and then you can choose what you want to do. So let me read this. Could be apprehension of going forward with a project because of burnout. Relaxing for a whole day or two could be an option. Could be preventing yourself from being receptive to money-making ideas because they seem boring and intimidating. If you get past the worry and work on your ideas, success will happen. So one other thing I want to mention is the moon in this phase, up until the full moon, it goes through 4 different signs. It goes through Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. So not only are you going through feeling like you need to do something very scholarly, very honest, something that you have to work really hard on. You're also going to be feeling a lot of emotions too. You're going to feel a lot of kind of like you want to pop off a little bit, because there could be some people that are just going to get on your nerves because, you know, they just don't pull their weight. I mean, like, especially if you work in an office or something, you always got like that one person who just sits there and does nothing. So be careful of that. I mean, like, just kind of like say hello and just move on. You don't need that kind of energy, at least not during this week. Let's see. We got the Pisces, and it's like the transition into the full moon, and that's gonna be crazy. I know with my aspects it's bad. It's like there's gonna be a lot of emotion. So I'll see if I can channel anything for that upcoming transition, because I know that could be a real problem for people, especially if the moon is a big deal in your chart. It's just a big deal during that time. I mean, it is anyways because it's a full moon. But basically that's the quick version, and now I'm going to get into channeling here. So the crystals, I was guided to put the crystals here. This is a big deal here for lots of people. Apprehension, being nervous about doing something that could bring them recognition. Maybe you're burned out. You know, like if you have the wands and you just like kind of blown them out. You know, you can, with wands, I mean, they can be lit on fire. They could have sprigs of leaves growing out of them. So I mean, there's different ways they can produce things. And like I'm thinking with this is like burnout. With the Eight of Cups, that could be kind of like walking away from, I think paired with this card, maybe walking away from doing things that burn you out. Anything that really burns you out could be a problem. So we're going to keep these two together. And now I think we'll put this down here. I think we'll put these together here. I'll put these here. Okay. So what we got here is we are heading into a time where it's going to be a lot of working, a lot of being nervous to work, perhaps. With the Three of Pentacles upside down like this, I mean, these guys are having fun. I'm thinking perhaps you're burned out from doing things that required a lot of work and you weren't getting the recognition or even maybe the payment that you deserve on these things, and so you're nervous to really go out on your own and do something entrepreneurial. If you work somewhere, if you work with other people, maybe you're afraid to open up and say, hey, you know, like, I think I'd be good for this project. I'd say be careful on that, because if it's something that's going to burn you out, don't volunteer yourself for it. In fact, if it's something that like that, just leave it alone. You know, don't force yourself to do something just because, you know, somebody says, oh, you know, get out of your comfort zone and all that kind of stuff. You don't have to do that this time around. Not during this phase. I know during the waxing moon, it's all about tasks. You know, you set your goal in new moon, and then you have your tasks that you start doing during the waxing moon. Or at least manifesting, so you know you have like the things that you're going to put together so that you can do your tasks more efficiently. So yeah, I'd say anything that's going to burn you out, just get rid of it. There's a lot of work here, a lot of things about working. So then we get to this space here, we have the Knight of Pentacles. This woman is on her way to being successful, or actually she's already successful. This is where she visualizes herself. I see this as somebody who's visualizing. To me, Wheel of Fortune is almost like a card of dreams. It's like the dream of having the windfall, the dream of having the best job you could possibly have. I feel like this is visualizing. This isn't quite there yet. In fact, if anything, this would be like this person by full moon time could be going through a lot of emotions and trying to figure out how they can get to this point. So I'd say for the full moon, and I will be doing a reading for that, I would say one intention to set, one thing to think about is something where maybe you can figure out how to keep your emotions in check. Now, we've got fire energy here, we've got earth energy, water energy. The air signs seem to be a little left out. Of course, with Wheel of Fortune, I see that as dreams, so that could be air energy there. In my opinion, I know other people may think it's something else, but this is how I feel when I channel. And then we have this, and we'll just put this above the sky here. You know, it's like walk away from the people that are going to drag you down. And it's not saying that you have to walk away from them forever. You know, sometimes you need people in your life who are going to like kind of be there in the background and maybe pull the strings a little, do things. But you don't need to really make them like a big priority. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to, if somebody is just hanging on you and they're just constantly hanging on you, that's not really healthy. You know, I see whoever I'm reading for as somebody who works somewhere. They perhaps took on too much responsibility, thought they could handle it, but maybe they needed help. And so instead of getting help, they just kind of carried everything on themselves. That's what Capricorns tend to do. So I see like this earth energy. I see a lot of Capricorn here. That's what I'm feeling. Let's see if there's anything else. When it comes to love, I think for this particular spread, I don't see love as being the major thing this week. I see it more as a career week. And I see like this person here, she's got self-love on her mind. She's trying to figure out how she can get self-love going for herself. And it's like she knows that if she does that, then she's more likely to attract a good quality love into her life. She may even be thinking about free will at this point. There may be some reasons why, but she may be thinking of all her options. You know, she's at the point where she can do that, or she will be at the point if she's able to find the work that she can do without having to sacrifice, you know, having to get real burnt out, having to sacrifice spending time with fun friends, you know, spending time relaxing, doing things that she enjoys doing. You know, it could be a problem. She won't get to the Knight of Pentacles. She won't get to the Nine of Pentacles. Of course, when it comes to the full moon, you don't want to worry about like where you're actually going to be at. I see the full moon as kind of like setting the next lunar cycle ahead. Like you're already thinking about the next part. So like for the transition, like that transition period right before the full moon, she could be thinking like, okay, I need self-love, and I'm going to be manifesting something. I'm just going to be manifesting something for that, and I'll attract what the best thing for me is, because I will have done the work on myself, and also the career that I'm working on to get what I need and want in life. So, also, one other thing I want to mention is relaxing. You know, like taking time to relax, taking time to have breaks. With all the work going on this week, you know, with this upcoming week, with the waxing moon, it's going to be absolutely brutal, I think, for some people. Especially the earth signs, they're going to be taking it to heart. It is Virgo season, and so Virgos are very detail oriented. I would say you got Taurus. Taurus may not be affected as much, although there is a lot of Venus energy, so they may be affected somewhat, but they may be a little more laid back with this kind of thing. Let's see, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. The Capricorns are going to be crazy, man. They're going to be scrambling. But I think the Capricorn people are going to be the most receptive to the money-making ideas. I mean, they're going to have like ideas that other people probably weren't seeing coming, you know, like they'll have the first ideas. Taurus people may be the ones with the money-making ideas. Yeah, the Taurus guys are like all about money. Things perhaps with possessions. Let's see. I was trying to think of the houses that all this stuff is in. Really more like the 6th house with career. Really not too many partnerships. I think it's going to be a lot of doing things on your own. As for the water energy, the water signs, you're all going to be the ones leaving stuff behind. You're going to be going, you know, I was really burnt out on that last project and I just need to leave it alone. You guys are going to be the ones that are going to be relaxing the most. Water, so the water signs, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Cancers, you're going to be probably thinking like, I am just not going to put myself out here anymore. It's something you're going to have to fight, that feeling of like not helping somebody. But sometimes you just can't. Sometimes you need to take time for yourself. I'd say Scorpio, you guys are going to be probably feeling deep emotions. You may get some insight as to why you don't want to work on something, and that could be the key to helping you find your next idea. Pisces, I think you're going to have to figure out how to open up more than you're willing to. I think you're going to be feeling like, oh, I don't want to open up. I really don't want to deal with this. And you're going to have to like open up and be receptive to new ideas. I mean, like, you're going to be one of those people, you're probably going to like think of carrying everything, carrying the load, of like if people didn't they didn't pull their weight. You're probably one of those people, you probably would carry the load. So you got that. Now, fire signs, Aries, I don't know why I get these. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Okay, Aries, you need to stop burning the candle at both ends. And once you figure out that, I think you'll be fine. You need to figure out how to relax. Leo, you know, with the cups here, you're going to be more emotional, I think. You're going to be more emotional. You're going to be thinking about not only that perhaps, you know, like you're burning both candles at one end, but perhaps you're like going to figure out how that makes you feel. You know, whereas Aries is more like they just figure out it all in their head. You're going to be feeling the heart of it. You're going to be going, oh, you know, my heart just isn't in it. Say for Sagittarius, you guys, well, I think you'll be the most laid back of everybody. You're going to be very laid back. You're going to be like, yeah, you know, like I worked on something and it was kind of hard, but I think I'll get through it. I can turn this up, you know, turn the frown upside down. You know, I can get into this again.
unfortunately, you may feel like, even though something was hard, because of your optimism, you might feel like, oh, I might go back to doing another project like that. And that's something I warn you against. I would say really take into account how the job was. Like, if you're planning on doing another one and it was really tough for you the first time, either figure out why it was tough for you and really understand that you can do it, or just leave it behind. Because there's no need to force yourself to do something just because you just want to make things work out again. That's not really healthy. So then the last guys I'm going to talk about, the air signs. You guys are kind of like you're not really involved in this too much. Okay, that's Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. It's funny that you're not really involved in this because, Libra season is coming up, but I really don't feel like you are. I think for you guys, you're not the kind of guys who burn things. You can get burned out because of your brain. Your brain's on like 24/7. So if you're having burnout, because this could be for all signs, I'd say if you're having burnout, then figure out how to calm your mind down. Say, Gemini, you could go talk to somebody. You could find a friend and go talk to somebody and ask them maybe for some advice. I know you may not want to hear it, but sometimes just talking to somebody and getting their advice is a good idea. I'm holding this card. Make sure you're very careful about who you go to. Don't go to somebody that's one of those people that doesn't know what they're talking about. Leave that person behind. Don't deal with that. Say, Libra, you guys, well, I don't know, maybe think of the love aspect, the beauty aspect of what you're doing, and make sure you're not getting burnt out because you put all your heart into it. Like, if you're putting all your heart, your intuition, everything, you're putting it all in there, and you're getting burnt out because of it, be sure that you don't go through it again. You guys are kind of like the Sagittarius sign. You may want to try it again. But not the same as the Sagittarius. It's more like you might want to try it again so that you're right this time. Like, you could be doing it, you could have done it last time, you could have done the job last time, and it wasn't right. Like, somehow it went wrong. And then you're like, well, I'm determined to do it right, because I'm right. It's funny, like, how you're an air sign, but that's a lot how you are, I think. Almost stubborn energy. It's funny how Libra, it's in the center of everything. They're like the 6th house, the 7th house, and they're almost like in the center. And love and work kind of go together. They love their work, So be careful of that. Be careful that you're not doing something, that you're not burning yourself out just to prove you're right.
Jess?
What?
Dad found a couple of restaurants that are open.
I'm in the middle of recording.
How much longer?
Just a couple more minutes.
Okay.
Sorry, guy. That was my mom. We've been stuck in the house for the hurricane, and it seems like now, in our area at least, we're getting more, we're getting better. It's not really gonna hit us like it was gonna hit us before. I am really sorry about that, guys. It's okay though. I love my mom. It's great having her. She's just amazing. All right. Okay, so now the Aquarius guys. Now you guys are, you gotta be careful that you don't get mad at the hanger-ons, I think. You gotta be careful that, you're gonna want to get mad at them because they didn't pull their weight. And you're somebody who you put yourself 100% into it. You kind of like, Yeah, it's really, friendship is going to be the one for you. Friendship is going to be the thing that you have to keep in mind. You know, keep in mind that, and look for the people who make work fun. I know it's probably very difficult for you to relax. You're somebody who likes to get into work. You're really into that. And so I would say, if you work in like in an office or retail or something, make sure that you get closer to the people that make you feel good, the people who make things fun. You know, you think outside the box. Be with the people who are like your tribe, and leave behind the people who are going to burn you out. You know, if they're going to burn you out, then just leave them alone. You know, you don't have to be mean or anything. Just kind of be like, just kind of hang back, you know, and they come up to you and say, oh, that's nice, you know, and then just kind of like walk on, you know. You don't have to entertain everybody all the time. I know, like, you're a humanitarian, you're like one of those people, you want to kind of like embrace everybody in some way, but sometimes it's best not to do that. So, I believe all signs can get to this point. You can all get to the Nine of Pentacles if you just make sure you don't burn yourself out and you hang out with the best people and relax. I think you'll be able to get where you need to go. So, this week I don't have a wrap up. I believe that this is pretty good. So, I will. Oh, blessings, and Sketchwriter Jess is me on Instagram, and I will see you next time. Bye.